If they have an iPhone, I'll hit that FaceTime button right away. I just do it. I don't even ask them. I don't say, hey, do you have an iPhone? You can see it on your phone. I just hit FaceTime and I'm like, hey, with a big smile or whatever. And instantly, every time, dude, they always have this big smile, no matter if they're throwing objections or whatever. And then they finally can see you. I'll show them my screen. Hey, this is what I'm doing. We have a thing in our office, dude. We have like an over 90% close rate on FaceTime calls.
All right, welcome to the next level. Got a special guest with me today, my man Austin Marsh. How we doing, dude?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for coming up.
Absolutely,
Appreciate you coming out doing this. We're going to talk about some sales stuff today.
Cool.
Which you're kicking ass. You're at 200 and change so far this year.
Yes, sir.
Personally.
Yeah.
And last year, over 600 sold.
Yeah.
A lot of life insurance, a lot of families being helped. I wanted to start with someone else who's selling a lot of life insurance. So, we have so many agents that go out every week and protect people. It's almost hard to pick, who we do an agent of the week, which we had Michael Gabriel on True Talk.
Nice.
And our rising star this week is Ethan Fox. But my point is, it's hard to pick because there's so many people out there having success, right? I mean, you're building an agency. You got a lot of guys. You say you'll have 10 Hall of Fame this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome. But Ethan Fox is from FFL Catalyst Collective, so we got a little testimonial from him here. He's only been with us 6 months, Austin, and he issued 66,000 last month.
Wow. Shout out Ethan, man. That is incredible.
Absolutely, dude. It's so crazy, too. Like, we were talking on True Talk that there's a learning curve with everything, right? Like, when you were selling books, I'm sure day one you didn't go out and knock it out of the park, right?
Yeah.
And even your transition here, you talked about how, first week you did okay, then you did better, and then you started really kicking ass.
Yeah.
There's a learning curve. And the only way to get through that learning curve is activity.
Yeah.
It's like there's whatever your number is, 100 appointments, you have to get enough experience. It's like whatever. If you're playing sports, if you're playing soccer, if you're playing baseball, you gotta get enough swings.
Yeah.
You're not going to get good after, watching a video and just going out there hitting home runs. That's not how it works.
Totally.
So 6 months in, this is awesome. Let's take a look at Ethan's testimonial here.
So what is one piece of advice that I would give to a brand new agent that's just getting started in this business? It's actually very simple. You must have a stronger mindset than your emotions. At the end of the day, you can only control the controllables. So don't reminisce about the past. Don't worry about the chargebacks or the bad days or the no sales on this day or whatever it may be, because it doesn't matter. All that matters is the present and what you're gonna do right now, wherever you are, with what you have. Because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. One thing I always like to remind myself is this as hard, is this as difficult as my life was before I got into this business. I always like to move forward because I can't do anything about the past. I expect the chargebacks. I expect the no sale days. It's part of business. Control the controllables and always remind yourself to have a stronger mindset than your emotions. Make sure to do that one thing and you will never have problems inside of this business again.
Running off to make more
Awesome,
sales. So he's like in the middle of a sale, sits down, does it, pops right back up.
Shout out Ethan, man.
Yes.
Now I understand why he issued over 60K.
Absolutely.
What a
on the
stud,
go.
man.
But that quote, have a stronger mindset than your emotions.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah.
Because it can be an emotional roller coaster, right? Like,
Totally.
I mean, I always talk about on here, one of my worst days in the field ever came months after I had already learned how to sell, already put up numbers. And I had 10 appointments booked in a day. I sat with every single one. Didn't close any of them.
Yeah.
And it sucked. But and in that moment, I'm sure you've had bad days, right?
Right.
In that moment, it feels like it's the worst thing ever. But when it happens to you, whether it's a bad day, bad hour, how do you keep yourself on track? Like, how do you have that stronger mindset than the emotions?
Yeah. I would say, dude, we're so quick to forget, like, how many days or how many weeks we had where, like, the majority of our day was made after 5 o'clock. Or how many weeks did we, like, take our foot off the gas pedal because, like, by the end of Wednesday, like, you weren't at where you wanted to be. But then your entire week was, like, made on a Friday and Saturday.
Right.
Dude, we're so quick to forget that. And we're so quick to remember all the times that, like, oh, man, I didn't sell anything by 3 o'clock, then I'm probably not going to sell anything for the rest of the day.
Right.
Or how many times oh, I didn't sell anything by Wednesday this week, so it's probably just going to be another 0 week for me this week. It's like, dude, we forget about all the times and all the little wins and the stories that we can have and come up with. We're like, no, dude, like, you know, there was days and weeks on the book field where I didn't really sell that many books up until Friday. And then Friday and Saturday, I just freaking knocked it out of the park. And then, but everybody sees my, you know, my results on paper and they're like, oh, he had a solid week.
Right.
But they have no idea what I went through Monday through Thursday. Plowing the field every day, getting rejected, no after no after no, just to get to Friday and Saturday. If I took my foot off the gas, I would never have gotten there.
Right. No, that's a great point. Even you saying that, I'm thinking back to like driving home or going to my last appointment at 9 o'clock at night. You know, you always had that, I'm not going to be home till 9. You're like, I'll be there at 9.
Dude.
Your whole day sucked, right?
Absolutely.
And then you walk out of that house with $5-6 grand in premium. You're like, wow. That was more than I wrote all day.
I don't know what it is, man, but like there's something special about one more.
Yeah.
Just one more. And dude, some of my last knocks of the day, some of my last presentations of the day, some of my last calls of the day, just one more. Dude, it's weird how the universe works like that, man. Like just one more, and then it ends up being somebody you got to help out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like what he said, you know, the chargebacks, this, that, all that stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
Who cares? Move on.
Yeah.
You can't, once it's done, hey, you know, what can you do? You can call the client back up, try to get back on the books. Let's say it's a no deal. They're not going to keep the policy.
Yeah.
Move on. Well, now I owe the company some money. Yeah, the beauty about what we do, though, is you can go get yourself some more leads. You can make some more calls, sell some more policies, and pay back the chargeback and make yourself some money.
Absolutely.
Overnight.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the beauty about it now is like, think about how quick you can get started.
Yeah. No, Ethan's got it right, man. Like chargebacks and those types of things, dude, that's the name of business.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you own a store. It's like your inventory is leads. You're going to have some people that come in and return the product. Not a big deal. Our job is just to treat everybody with the same level of respect and kindness. And you want to have just like A+ rated customer service, A+ rated sales, A+ rated marketing.
Yeah.
They're going to make returns, dude. Like it's going to happen. It's not a big deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we just started doing on TNL is asking for questions, right? Because it's one thing, you and I can sit here and talk for 2 hours about sales, about what to do, but it doesn't help if we're not answering the questions that agents are looking for. We have a lot of new agents that watch this, so some of these questions may seem simple and basic, but we're going to go through a few. So the first one here, this is a really basic question. Heidi Polito says, how to close more sales?
Call more leads.
I mean, in a nutshell, right? Like, you know, I mean, obviously figure out what you're like, where are you struggling? Do you have enough leads or do you have enough appointments?
Totally.
But at the end of the day, like if I'm working with you and I'm like, Austin, I need to sell more.
Yeah.
How would you approach that question?
So, yeah, great question. I would definitely do more of like an audit of your situation.
Yeah.
But if you want to sell more, you probably need to increase your inventory, which is leads.
Yeah.
So that's like if somebody ever comes to me and it's like, hey, should I increase my leads? I'm like, did you just ask me if you want to make more money?
Right.
I stole that from John Wetmore. He
That's
said
great.
that. It was great. I was like, dang, that's so true. Anytime I've ever made the investment in my business, and sometimes when my back's against the wall and it's hard to make that investment, but I do anyway, it always pays off, man. Like anytime like I've invested in the business with money that maybe I didn't necessarily have, but I did it anyway, it always has paid off. So like taping in business, you have to take leaps of faith, and that's okay. Like that little pit in your stomach that you get when you charge your card for X amount for those leads, it's okay to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, I also feel that way too, but I do something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, I mean, do an audit on yourself, Heidi. What do you like? Are you meeting with enough people? Are you in a Zoom room? Are you trying this by yourself? Has someone listened to your appointment?
Bingo.
So with technology nowadays, like you could be struggling. You can jump in the Zoom room, unmute, let everybody hear you. Let some people that are actually, you know, are selling more critique you. So there's opportunity out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll save that one for the end. I got Lewis. Are higher quality leads truly worth the price point? Okay.
Dude, great question, Lewis. There's a lot of different philosophies around this. Some people, they want the lower cost leads they can get in volume that they can just work the crap out of.
Yep.
And then other people, they do enjoy the higher quality leads. Speaking from personal experience, when I was in home, I used like the cheapest leads you could probably buy to set appointments and you know, basically leverage my skill and communication whenever I was with them in person.
Yeah.
But now that I'm doing this over the phone, I now use a lot of a higher quality lead. I do all my leads through Facebook.
Okay.
So the cost per lead there is probably around $20.
Got it.
Give or take a few bucks. And I like it a whole lot more because I don't need to establish the rapport and the trust as much because we have a system built in with a CRM that's sending out our information, our license before we even get on the phone with the client. So I would say when I was in home, cheaper leads, that was the name of the game for me. I never really invested in a ton of more expensive leads than that. But now that I'm doing this over the phone where they can't see me person to person, I do think that the system we have in place definitely helps nurture the higher lead type. So I would go higher lead quality there.
And I would assume you're making more money now than you were when you were buying those cheaper leads.
You got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, what are the best leads? The best leads are the ones you can afford.
Yeah.
Like if you only have X amount of dollars, I only got $500, Mike.
For sure.
Then buy the cheapest leads you can get and get as many as you can.
And that's a good point, Mike. And I appreciate you bringing that up because, when I was in home, I didn't have the capital to buy the most expensive leads. So I bought the lower and the cheaper cheaper leads because that's what I had to do.
Right.
And I made it work, and then I kind of worked my way up into buying, the higher quality leads. And I'm able to do that now because I've built the skills and stuff that I had to do or needed to have to be able to work those. So
now I've not called on leads in a long time. So I would tell you at least my perspective, how it was back then, and let me know if that, I guess, remains true today.
Okay.
So the way we always looked at it was cheaper leads, older leads, you're going to dial more, right? They've been called.
Totally.
I mean, honestly, they've been called by other. Now, good thing about what we do is most people suck at what we do.
Right.
Right. So we're getting recycled leads from other companies. They're not us.
Definitely.
So, but they're harder to get on the phone. No doubt. You have to dial some more. But now I didn't do telesales. I was in home. Once I got in the home, once I was sitting down at your table, there was no difference between that older lead and a brand new lead.
Right.
It was a little harder work to get in the door.
Yeah.
But once I was there, the conversation was the same.
Exactly.
Would you say that's true today as well?
Definitely. If you're buying cheaper leads, but you make an appointment with them and you go and visit them, it doesn't matter that they were a cheap lead or not.
Correct.
The only thing that matters is them right there in that moment. And they're giving you an opportunity to present to them what you have to help them out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much it costs for that lead at that point. But no, I totally agree with that. Yeah. You make the most of what you got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, you kind of earn your way up to buying the new, like you make more money, you can buy the
Definitely.
higher quality leads, if you will.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, you still got to know what you're doing. Like it's not going to guarantee you close because you bought a newer lead.
For sure. And even just maybe to give a little more confidence here, I still was producing 30, 40K a week in home when I was buying and making appointments with those were super cheap leads.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
It really doesn't matter.
Maria Linares says, her question is, what daily habits do you recommend to be successful as an agent? So we talked about consistency, right? So I'm brand new, or she's brand new, asking you, what are the daily habits that you recommend?
Yeah, that's a great question, Maria. I would say the first thing that we need to take a look at is your schedule. And I always say schedule is your lifeline. When you're on schedule, doing the things that you need to be doing in order for you to be successful, then you probably feel pretty good. But it's the times when you're not doing the things you should be doing, when you're off schedule, when you probably feel not that good, right? And so whenever we look at your schedule, we need to make sure that we're having a consistent start time every day.
Yep.
Stop time can be a little bit different, but there needs to be at least a minimum of hey, I'm going to work at least until 6.
Yeah.
You might stop at 7 or 8, but at 6 is the bare minimum.
Okay.
So that's kind of the bigger rocks. The big rocks are, what does my sleep schedule look like? What does my work schedule look like? What does my gym time look like? What does my personal development time look like? What am I eating? And then you can start to fill in the pebbles, the little things, and that whole ordeal. But we need to take care of the big rocks first, which is probably sleep, work, and then working out and food schedule. So
it's a lot different than working a traditional job, right? You work a job, Austin, they tell you what time you got to be there, what time you can go on break, what time you can leave. one of the biggest challenges to being an independent contractor and anything you do is you don't have a boss. No one's going to call you if you don't show up at the office,
Yeah.
you know, and go, where are you? Like maybe your
sure.
agents might now, but day
Yeah.
one, like,
Yeah. No, it's
dude,
true.
sell, don't. No one cares
Yeah.
because it's on you. You're independent. And I think that's the
Totally.
struggle is when people become independent that have worked a job for such a long time, now they feel I'm free.
Yeah.
No, you actually are going to have to work more.
Yeah.
But you're working for yourself.
You got it. I always say we don't call it a job. We call it a yob. YOB, your
Okay.
own business.
I like that.
Yeah. So you work a job and you run
Yeah.
your own business. And I think that's why it's important. And you brought this up earlier is tapping into a group of people that's doing it.
Correct.
Because, dude, whenever I started life insurance, I mean, I had an awesome book career and did some cool things there. But when I got to Nashville to do this, I was like, okay, who can I meet that sells life insurance that
Yeah.
I can learn from? And I just tapped in from day one, man. And still with those guys till this day, every day, still
Yeah.
on those Zooms. So even though I have a whole office of 30 plus people, I still have Zoom up every single
Right.
day with those guys.
Yeah.
Because rolling out of bed and just hopping on the phone is not for everybody. It's a hard thing to do. But if you can tap into a group and get to know them and pick their brains and spend time with the right people, dude, the half of the work is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how successful you've been, you still need that, you know, that it fills that void. It keeps you
Yeah.
motivated. I remember we would get together every Saturday morning to dial. We would now again, we didn't have Zoom rooms back then. Like I think
Yeah.
you'd probably have like what was it? We had Skype back in the day, which sucked, by the way. It
Yeah.
ain't like Zoom now.
Yeah.
But we would meet at the office 7:30, 8 o'clock. As soon as 8 a.m. hit, we were all on the phones. And there's
Yep.
a dozen of us. You hear Sean die. This is back when Sean was selling. Like, I got 10 appointments. I got this.
Yeah.
But it motivated you. And I did that when I was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And once I had it figured out. I could sell on my own. I didn't need to be there
Totally.
to book appointments, but I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, Maria, hit us up. I can give you a Zoom link and help you out.
There you go. All right, let's see. Anna Gonzalez says, I would like to know more about sales. Well, what would you like to know?
Go to ChatGPT, bro.
Right? I mean, I think sales it's challenging. It's a grind,
Yeah.
right? But I would say what we do is simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to have any college degrees. You don't need to have any experience. Like you had experience sales. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
I've seen people with no experience come in, kick ass. I've seen people with a lot of experience struggle. I've seen it. So it doesn't discriminate.
Totally.
And I guess here's the best thing that you should know about sales is that it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Good or bad, your success or lack thereof is on you.
Yeah.
It's your attitude, your activity.
Yeah.
All right. What was Isaac Montagano? Maybe I said that wrong, but Isaac asked, what was the most challenging aspect when you started?
Most challenging aspect when I first started. I would say for me, and I'm just going to go from when I first started just in sales in general.
Okay.
I would say for me, definitely learning how to work through rejection. I was awesome in school and Austin, you're A+ this, and you got all these great grades, and I was great at sports and, just being, patted on my back all the time. And whenever you go cold knock on doors, you quickly realize like, man, like you are not that cool.
Yeah.
And so, learning how to work through rejection and work through apathy and learning how to motivate yourself and learning how to have positive self-talk and learning how to stay composed. Because, there's things that happen to me now in my life when I was 18, it would have rocked me.
Yeah.
Like it totally would have checked me out, been on the sidelines, like waiting for things to smooth themselves out. Now I'm like taking life by the, and just going for it. And it's because that level of emotional intelligence, I think I've gained over time and still continuing to work on that. But that's what I would say in the beginning for me was definitely the hardest.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that you see that with a lot of agents. Like no one likes being rejected at all. Like, and don't lie to yourself. I love it. No, you don't. How about acknowledge, hey, it sucks, but guess what? I'm going to have to be rejected.
Definitely.
Like I forget exactly how you worded it, but like one no is just closer to a yes.
Yeah. Every no means next. Every answer lies behind the next door. It's never personal. It's
Yeah.
something that's important to remember when you
That's
get
huge.
rejected. It's never personal. It didn't matter if I knocked on their door or you knocked on their door, Mike, or if Sean Mike himself knocked on the door.
Right.
They would have, slammed the door in whoever's face.
Right.
It's not personal, And so, yeah, keep that in mind as you're
That
calling.
was one that was, it took me a little bit to learn that, because I'd get upset. Like, what do you mean you don't want me to come over? You fill this form out. And I'm like, then you realize, like, sometimes people are just having a shitty day.
Yeah,
Because when you dial leads, like, I'll call you today.
totally.
You hang up on me. Why are you calling me? Then I call you next week at the exact same time. And it's like there's a different person on the other end of the phone.
Dude.
And whole time I'm thinking it's me. No, he just was
Yeah.
probably having a bad day. Just move on. Call him again.
You never know what's going on in home.
No.
You never know what's going on behind the phone whenever you call somebody. And yeah, we're human. They're projecting whatever the heck's going on behind closed doors onto you.
Right.
And you just happen to be their punching bag right there in that moment. So, your job is to take it and keep on moving. So
One of the other things that was really challenging for me was the roller coaster, not getting emotional, not in both. When you're two up, you close 4 or 5 deals in a row, because this business is so simple, and it's like when you're on, dude, you can about not miss,
yeah,
but then you get a little overconfident.
totally.
And then what happens then, at least for me, and what I've seen is then you start skipping steps.
Yeah.
Right. Let's say you have your process, and every time, whatever it is, I send my credentials, I go through this image, I do X, Y, and Z, and then you start closing it, and little by little, you'll start cutting little stuff out.
You're totally
I don't
right.
need to send my credentials. I'm just so good now, Austin. I don't need to go through the inventory. Let me just ask what their budget. I don't need to. And then out of nowhere, then you have a day, like I said, 0 for 10. You're like, holy shit, what? Well, you got a whole new process now that you weren't doing when you were having success.
Yeah.
But little by little, you cut little shortcuts. It's like you're dieting. I cut everything out. I lost a bunch of weight. Oh, I can have a couple extra cookies.
Totally.
I can.
You start to rationalize.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
dude, I did so good yesterday, Austin. I can have 3 donuts right now, right?
Yeah.
Then the next week, you're like, damn it, I'm gaining the weight back.
Yeah.
But it's these little
Totally.
things that add up. That was
Yeah.
challenging for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And actually, statistically, like people will have some of their lowest weeks right after their best.
Oh, I
weeks.
bet. Yeah. Yep.
It's not rocket science. There's just
Dude, it's
some
funny
stuff that
you
stopped.
say that. So my first full year selling, it was like March. I didn't know what chargebacks were.
Mm-hmm.
Everything moved a lot slower back then.
Yeah.
You put in an application, probably took a week or 2 to get paid, right? If someone canceled, it may take a month or 2 to hit you. Dude, I'm selling 20 grand a month, and and now back then 20 was like 40
Yeah,
now.
dude, you're the
right?
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I was killing it.
Yeah.
I had back-to-back weeks where I was like 5-6 grand in
Yeah.
pay, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, the next week, I got paid 0. It's like, what the hell? It was Mutual of Omaha back then. I wrote most of my stuff, and I'm like, what's going on? And then Sean's like, well, go look at your commission statement. I'm like, but I didn't get paid. I had all these policies approved. And he's like, yeah, I bet you got chargebacks. I'm like, what's that?
Oh,
so
no.
we pull it up. He's like, it's that right there where they cancel. And I'm like, oh, man. But
Yeah.
I was taking shortcuts. I wasn't making sure that, I really found the why. Because, dude, it sells itself. But I was that guy who was like, just on to the next one. Oh, yeah, dude, I owed him like whatever I was supposed to get paid, I didn't. Then a few weeks later, but to your point, I had a couple of my biggest pay weeks ever, and then I had nothing.
Yeah. That's why that's important to manage your money and
Yep.
make sure you got something back. So,
Yeah. Well, I wish you would have told me that back then. I didn't know you then. All right, last question here. We will. We're going to talk about this one a little bit, a little bit more. So this is Benny Mobley says,
Yeah.
I am a new agent. How do you get clients to trust you and less phone hang-ups, better leads, etc.? We already talked about the lead stuff.
Yeah.
But, well, first of all, if clients are hanging up on you,
Yeah.
you're obviously doing something wrong. And
Yeah.
I think he's on to something. It is the trust.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, because every client we meet with has filled something out about life insurance, there's no bait and switch. They know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
It does boil down to a few things. One, is it affordable, right? Because no one's going to buy something that's unaffordable, or they will and they'll cancel.
Totally.
And the second one is, do they like and trust you?
Yeah.
If you can master those 2 things, you can have success in this business as long as you're willing to work, right?
Totally.
So, in your opinion, Austin, how do you build trust with clients?
Yeah. So there's definitely things you can do on the front end that's going to help eliminate more people that's going to give you that objection.
Okay.
So one is they definitely need to have your credentials. Like we have a CRM that it's all built into every time somebody sets an appointment or we put an appointment in the calendar, it'll automatically do that for us. So it takes a little bit of the hard work out of the way.
Okay.
But my first like year and a half, every single time I had an appointment or got on the phone with somebody, I sent the credentials myself.
And your credentials, your insurance license, what else? Driver's license?
Insurance. Well, it's actually just like you can make your own website.
Okay.
Or you can even make your own business card on Hi, Hello, Me. It's just like a e-card. You can put your picture. You can put a link to a website. You can put you can do an attachment of your license. You can put everything on there and then send that over to your client. Hey, do me a favor real quick, just before we get into all this, go ahead and pull that up real quick. I just text you and then have them check it. I did that for over a year and a half.
You're opening your call with this pretty much.
Yeah. That's how I would open. And then if I ever did get hit with that objection, I would just say, hey, John, do you remember when I sent that to you in the beginning of the call? Did you actually verify that? I do want to make sure you know who you're talking to, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to get a percent of people that's not going to matter what you say. They're going to feel funky about giving you information over the phone.
Right.
So there's a couple of different things I will pivot to do here. I will see if they have an iPhone. If they have an iPhone, I'll hit that FaceTime button right away. Hey, John, you're getting a video. I'm calling you through a video call on your phone. Can you go ahead and pick that up real quick? And then I just do it. I don't even ask them. I don't say, hey, do you have an iPhone? You can see it on your phone.
Right.
I just hit FaceTime. And I'm like, hey, with a big smile or whatever. And instantly, every time, dude, they always have this big smile, no matter if they're throwing objections or whatever. And then they finally can see you. I'll show them my screen. Hey, this is what I'm doing, yada, yada, yada. We have a thing in our office, dude. We have like an over 90% close rate on FaceTime calls.
Really?
Yeah, dude. So we're like doing that every day.
Yeah.
And then I actually bought my own Zoom URL.
Okay.
They don't have a FaceTime on their phone. Then I just say, hey, hop on this Zoom real quick. Go to your internet, type in this Zoom, and then hop on. And then same thing. So if they don't have an iPhone, I just do the Zoom link.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bought my own URL. That way it's easy for them. They don't have to type in like a meeting passcode and all that because they're a little older. So I'm just like, hey, just type in this URL and you'll see me. Just hit the accept button. So yeah.
Because that's huge. That is the one thing. And again, I've never sold over the phone, but when I think about in-home, it was I'm sitting across from you.
Yeah.
We're making eye contact. I can read your body language.
For sure.
I can tell if you're uncomfortable.
Totally.
I can tell when I show you prices, which one you're more comfortable with, but how you react.
Definitely.
And you don't have those advantages on the phone, right?
Yeah.
What else? So that's like if they don't trust you. But what are you doing? Like, you send your credentials.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of rapport building? How do you find any common ground? Like,
for sure.
What do you do on your phone?
For sure. I think in your communication with them, my mindset is I'm never in a rush. Mm-hmm. I'm always on time. I'm never in a hurry. I don't want anybody on the phone to feel like I'm in a rush or I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
And I think when you're new, you talk so fast.
Yeah.
You're talking so fast. You might think you're slowing down.
Right.
But they're like getting hit with it and they're like, they don't know what to do with it because you're talking so fast, especially if you're just reading something. Mm-hmm. And through repetition, you'll start to memorize what you're saying. You'll be able to slow it down, not be in a hurry, not be in a rush. And I think that in of itself just builds trust.
Yeah.
When you sound like you know what you're talking about, when you have good pauses, when you ask questions and you let them speak and you don't cut them off. I think just little things like that, just like, oh, like this guy sounds like a good dude on the phone.
Right.
So I think like becoming a person that you'd want to talk to on the phone, because that's an easy kind of self-reflection question. It's like, well, the way that I talk to people on the phone, would I want to talk to that person on the phone?
It's huge.
I hear some of our new agents that just fly through through the approach.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what you just said.
Right.
So I think when you really focus in on tonality and your ability to communicate it, even while you're reading a script, and God, dude, we're doing telesales, we get a script right there.
Yeah.
We were doing in-home. You don't just get a script right there. I mean, what are we talking about?
Right. Imagine that. Hold on. Let me check what I'm supposed to say there.
What are we talking about? So, I mean, you get to, don't use it as a crutch, use it as your leverage, but really focus on how you're saying things and trying to slow down. Mm-hmm. Because I think that's going to give you a lot more of an approachable conversation for somebody on the other side.
Right. And then the other thing is there's a why. Every client there's a reason they filled that form out, right? Whatever it is, called in, filled it out online. Like you're doing a lot of internet leads.
Yeah.
there's an ad.
Totally.
It hits a lot of people's. I'm sure you know your impressions, and not everybody fills it out.
Yeah.
So you think about what that client went through for you to even get on the phone with you.
Yeah.
First of all, it stopped on an ad that most people just swipe by.
Yeah.
They read it. They clicked on something. Then they filled their information out. And they filled it out correctly as well. They didn't put a false phone number in there, right?
Yep.
And then they answered the phone when you called. Like they did all those steps.
Yeah.
So there was some, and people don't make decisions based on logic traditionally. It's emotional.
Totally.
That's why there's so much credit card debt, right? Like,
Right.
oh, the new TV, Austin. Like, bro, you don't need it. Your TV's fine. Yeah, but I want it. I just got this credit card.
Yeah.
Now it's maxed out. You don't have no money to pay it, but you made an emotional. Like you were talking about the casino on the other podcast. Like you made smart decisions.
Yeah.
There's some people that they have no limit.
Totally.
I'm going to win the money back. Like, oh God, no. You only play with money you can lose.
Yeah.
But that part is huge, bringing them back to that why, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, someone who's never done over the phone, in home, it's a lot easier for me.
Totally.
Or at least I think it is.
Yeah,
because I can
absolutely.
look around, see pictures of your kids. I can see your kids, and I know that's your why.
Yeah.
How are you
Totally.
making sure you get to that part on the phone? Because there's also a lot of clients that are, I would say, laydowns, right? Like they know what they want something. But there's a lot that are not. There's probably a good third of the people you meet with that you got to bring back to that emotional state. You got to find the why, the reason. You know, Sean used to say it's like a dam. We got to plug the dam. Or there's a real. We got to put a dam. We got to plug the hole.
Yeah.
How are
totally.
you doing that on the phone?
For sure. And now we're kind of like we're sniping these whys because we have it more of like a niche.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like just selling life insurance to anybody, the why is just so different person to person. We're working specifically with veterans, right? And our ad is like about final expense. So when I ask them on the phone, so John, was your main concern, like most veterans, was it just to make sure that the funeral expenses wouldn't fall burden on your family? Like 9 times out of 10, they just say yes.
Right.
You know, okay, John. And other than funeral expenses, any other concerns? And then they say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much it. And then I'll tie it back. Okay. So you just want to make sure that God forbid something happened to you, that this wouldn't fall burden on Carrie. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he's like, yes. Okay. It's just a lot of yes.
Right.
Okay, great. Now that's a lot. That's a different approach than, it's a little less emotional, if you will.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you still get hit with that emotion, or I'm sorry, that objection, you can still bring it back to the why.
Right.
And say, hey, John, I know earlier we were talking and you were saying you just don't want this to fall burden on Carrie. You know, why is that? And then get him to talk a little bit more. I do think that's a big part in building trust, is
Absolutely.
understanding why the heck you're on the phone in the first place.
Yep.
You know, I don't even like to move on into the rest of the conversation. Like I won't even go into health questions until I know what we're on the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if they're giving me some generic bullcrap answer, or just like give me a quote, or you know, rushing you off the phone.
I just wanted information.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why did you want
It's
that
like,
information?
dude? I won't. I don't know how to explain this, but like I will beef with somebody.
Yeah.
About their why.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like before, I'm not just like giving them information. And I'm not just giving these guys a quote. Like I will literally, bro, like I will sit up in my chair and like lean forward like I'm in battle position.
Yeah.
And like I will beef with somebody before we go into health questions about their why, because I'm not moving on, and there's no point in moving on until I know why the heck we're on the phone. Because guess what happens? They beat you. Mm-hmm. You just give them the information. It's like, okay, thanks. Have a good day. Click.
Right.
You know, or they beat you and it's like, okay, great. Can you just send that to me in my email? Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. So like, dude, you sometimes, you got to kind of lean up, sit up a little bit, beef a little bit. If you just, hey, John, like, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. What's the real reason we're on the phone today?
Right.
Because I can look at all these things, but you ever heard about somebody over promising and under delivering? Okay. So if I just give you information, that's not going to do anything for you because we don't know what you qualify for.
Right.
So I could give you all this information, but if you don't know, then we could come back a week later when you want me to call you, and then we get declined, and this was just a waste of all of our time.
Right.
So I will meet somebody there, and then they're like, like one of our guys was doing a training in my office, and he was like, He's like, sometimes when you're on the phone with a douchebag, you got to be a douchebag back.
Yeah.
And then the douchebag is like, oh, you're a douchebag too. Let's be friends. And it's like, those are some of the harder ones.
It is.
Where you're like, some of those guys by the end of the call, they're your buddies. You're talking about this, that, or the other. And you're like, dang, man, like if I didn't kind of like beef up a little bit with them in the beginning, like I would never even had a shot of getting this guy as a client. So,
right.
I mean, and I genuinely think that like with some of those guys, like they're not just going to let anybody help them get a policy.
Correct.
But you want to be the guy, the underwriter, the salesperson that can handle those situations too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those a lot of times end up being your best clients.
Yeah.
The ones that are the most difficult. You
Yeah.
know?
Totally.
And if we were talking about shortcutting earlier, if you skip that step, everything could be going smoothly.
Yeah.
Right. But you didn't really dig their why out. But he's not being difficult. I'll just move along. I'll show him
Totally.
And then you're gonna get exactly what you said. Hey,
Yeah.
can you send that to me?
Yeah.
Hey, back in the day, do you have a card? Like, because you didn't push through and I think the reason why people don't, I believe, is they're afraid they're gonna lose the sale.
Yeah.
If I push too hard, I might lose. Well, you already lost. You already lost it.
Yeah.
Because without pulling that out, you got to bring them back. It may have been a week ago when they filled it out online. If you're down old leads, could have been a year ago.
Yeah.
You got to bring them back to that emotion they had when they went online, typed out their information, and said, I need to get some final expense insurance.
Dude, and you don't sometimes you got to remember, like, we work 100% commission job. I do not get paid to give somebody quotes.
Correct.
Like me beefing with somebody here and there, that's my job.
Yep.
Like that's how I get paid. I don't get paid to just give information and send things in an email.
Right.
I'm 100% commission, just like everybody else. Like I get paid to beef with some guys every now and then. So,
and your job is to protect the client.
Yeah.
You ain't protecting anybody by just sending them a number.
No. And you're wasting your time, and then you're back to square one. So,
like I mean, we always talk about the good ones, like not the good ones, but when someone passes and they're covered, that's great.
yeah,
But have you ever had a call from a client you didn't protect?
totally.
And a potential beneficiary calls up like, hey, I found your card, or I found this, was looking to see, and you go, no, unfortunately, we never put anything in place.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I had that one time. This was when I was in home, is this wife called me, hey, Austin, I remember you were over, blah, blah, blah. My husband had passed this past week. I was going to see if, what we can do to get that going. And I'm like, I have no idea who this lady is because they weren't a client. And I'm like looking up the information. And I was like, oh, yeah. I go, oh, man, Mary, we never put anything in place because John said he just wanted to wait. And it was like, I mean, what do you do, man? You're just heartbroken, bro. Heartbroken.
Yep.
So, yeah. I mean,
I had one. It was I sold the policy, but the client withheld health information.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say I knew, but I knew something. Like the way the appointment was weird. I was always big on meeting. If you're married, we're meeting with you and your wife.
Yeah, together.
I'm not meeting with you. But this was, it was one appointment of like 20. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So the guy was weird. I think I even met him at like an office. Like it was, I did everything I wasn't supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, how much is it going to be? And something felt off. And then I'm like, what about the health? He didn't really want to talk. Just some stuff. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. No medication.
Yeah.
And then I wrote it. Policy got issued. Client died a few months later. And once they did the check, they realized he had some health stuff going on. Now, here's the shitty part is, based on what he had health-wise, I probably could have got him a whole life policy. That would have gave his family some money.
Yeah.
But I didn't push through.
Yeah.
I took the shortcuts.
Yeah.
And then I had to deal with that call of, no, I didn't know your husband had heart issues like that, and unfortunately, the policy's not going to pay the $200,000 that y'all thought you had. You don't have.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I believe we do that because we're trying to protect our own feelings.
Yeah.
We don't want to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is uncomfortable to go, hey, dude, listen, I know you're saying you got nothing health-wise, but we need to go through all these questions. I need to know, you've been to doctors lately for what? I can't just take these, half answers, and I need the truth.
Yeah.
I need to dig deeper, or the why. I need to know why would this hurt your family if you didn't have it?
Totally.
What would happen here?
Yeah.
Not just, oh, yeah, I just want to protect my family. Okay, cool, we move on.
For sure.
What does that mean?
Yeah. And if they're not going to give it to you right then and there, great. You just saved 15 minutes of you being on the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Cool.
the other thing is, I think people use the excuse of I don't want to upset the client. Dude, it takes a lot to upset a client.
Yeah.
Like you really got to push for them to go, you know what, get out of my house or hang up. Listen,
Totally.
a lot of people have thicker skin than you would imagine, especially older final expense clients, dude. They've lived a life.
Yeah.
There ain't shit you're going to say to them on the phone in 15 minutes that's going to
No,
send them
sir.
over the edge. Like,
No.
come on.
Yeah.
There was times I was like, when they finally asked me to leave, I'm like, I'm surprised it took that long. Like,
Yeah.
it was in here like the 40 minutes pushing, like,
Yeah.
And the
Man.
thing though is once you do get that uncomfortable, you realize it's not as bad as you thought it was. And then it's easier to get there.
Yeah.
I remember telling a guy, he was, we're going back and forth and his thing was his kids, but he wasn't going to do it. And I'm like, you know what? Go get your kids.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Go get your kids, tell them to come out here, and let's explain to them that you don't want to do this. So when you do pass, they're not going to be able to stay here anymore. Because that's what you told me.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't want to do that. Like, oh, you don't want to do that now, so you want them to deal with that when it happens?
Wow.
And then he's like, well, how much is it again?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
you
yeah.
determine that. Which one do you want to do?
Uh-huh.
And dude, at the end of the day, it was down to price. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't want to do that one. I'm like, I never said you had to, bro.
Yeah.
How about this one? It's $80 a month, cover half the
Man.
mortgage. It's like, yeah, I guess we'll just do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And dude, that's it. That like 10, 15 seconds of you just like getting like kind of the courage to like tell them how it is.
Right.
That's all you need.
Absolutely.
That's all you need, man. And some people are just missing out on that 10, 15 seconds and they're just getting beat. They're getting defeated and then you're just giving them some information and they're never doing anything with it.
I had one callback. So, when you first get started, a lot of times you end up with a folder of go-backs,
Yeah,
right? Like
a lot of follow-ups.
Oh, yeah. You come back selling your upline, like, Austin, like this guy, he's going to call me next Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And then Mary, she's going to call me on Wednesday because she had to check with her financial advisor.
Yeah.
And Tanya wanted to check with her daughter. And you're like, dude, none of them are going to call you back. None of them. The only time I've ever been called back is when a guy asked me to leave. It was an older guy, it was a final expense, and he had one daughter, and he wanted to leave it to her, and then he did the whole think about it. And I'm like, dude, you're like 72.
Yeah.
Life expectancy 78 for us men. You really, what is there to think about? Well, I'm like, you told me your daughter would be screwed. That was your word. She'd be screwed if you didn't have this.
Yeah.
Why don't we call your daughter right now and tell her that she's going to be screwed when you pass away? Nah, I don't want it. He dude is cussing me out, kicks me out. I'm like, all right, can I have your card? I'm like, nope. He had my number. I'm like, my card goes to my clients.
Yeah.
Dude, he calls me back, no lie, Austin, like 5-6 hours later. Like, he was one of my afternoon appointments. I'm on my
he
way
couldn't
back.
stop thinking about it.
Hey, listen, man, I'm sorry about today. I was just having a bad day. You're right. I really do need the insurance. Can you come back?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I wrote him up. Like, that's the only time I've gone back.
I'll take you back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my point is push.
Yeah.
Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about your own feelings.
For
because
sure.
people die with no life insurance. And because of the nature of what we do, we have the ability to prevent that.
Yeah. I agree. I think people just want to be liked.
Absolutely.
They just want to be liked and they want to be the cool, nice, kind guy.
Right.
And that's great. But man, like if you want to be the one that just like services people
Correct.
like through thick and thin, you got to get uncomfortable sometimes.
You get out of your own way. Stop
Yeah.
worrying about your feelings.
Exactly.
And worry about the people that are across the table or across the other line of the phone.
For sure. And plus, dude, like you're on the phone. You're never going to see these people.
Right.
It's like, dude, there was actually I was at a concert one time and we were all the way in the back. And I'm like, man, just to get to the front, like what would I have to do?
Yeah.
And it was like a music festival. And I was just thinking in my head, dude, I'm never going to see any of these people ever again. And I just like totally made my way to the front. Like where like nobody else wanted to. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I will never see any of these people ever again. Got to the front, had an amazing night. But dude, same mentality. It's like,
It wasn't a Coldplay concert, was it?
no. I wouldn't be caught at those concerts anymore. But no.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, Austin, I appreciate you coming up, taking out time doing this,
sir.
And keep kicking ass. So hopefully we have 10 red jackets to give to you and your
Yeah,
team this year. Yeah.
absolutely.
What's your personal production goal for this year?
Hitting Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah, hitting Hall of Fame and bringing 10 guys with
10
me.
guys. Love it.
Yeah,
Love
man.
it. Well, good stuff, dude.
Sweet.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
And guys,
thanks, Mike.
thanks for checking us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're here every week on The Next Level. Send us some questions. You can email them. You can drop them right in the comments if you want. But we have top producers on every single week. Like, that's the thing. Like, how do I get on the podcast? You sell a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we met. I mean, I probably gave you an award last year.
Yeah.
But
probably
I've
shook
given
your
like
hand.
10,000.
Yeah.
But like, why is Austin here? Because he sells a lot. And he has a team, and he's growing. He's doing the right thing. So my point is, we don't have people on this podcast answering questions that don't know what they're doing. So take advantage of it. Ask the questions. So, but we appreciate y'all checking us out, and we'll be right back here next week on The Next Level. We'll see you then.